Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed right here on the Nasdaq stock market. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining us this afternoon, we have Ryan McCormack. He is the QQQ equity ETF strategist at Invesco to discuss weekly trends in the Nasdaq-100, as well as a large outflow and inflow activity driven by quadruple on last Friday, September 18th. Ryan, it's great to have you with us, and let's take a look at that weekly performance with the Qs versus S&P.
Sure, thanks, Jill, and thanks for having me this week. QQQ down 2.19% last week, with the S&P down 2.51. Kind of nowhere to hide, right? I think there you have this persistent coronavirus worries. You have the Fed coming out and saying the pandemic is going to continue to weigh on economic activity. And then kind of dovetailing with that, you see limited progress on kind of the fiscal stimulus front. So I think kind of concerns about, the pace of the economic recovery, the pace of the economy reopening, weighed on investors as September traditionally can be a tough month for equities.
Well, let's take a look at our next slide here, and top performing stocks on a relative basis is what we're looking at.
Yeah, so you're looking at the best performers within QQQ, and you can see the top 10 performers within the fund. 7 of them are not held in the S&P 500, with the other 3 being overweight. So, again, we're talking about those differentiated holdings on a week-to-week basis. There's another example of those holdings kind of leading the charge.
So what did you see with outflow and inflow activity over the past week?
Yeah, so essentially what we saw was a very big outflow on Friday and a big inflow on Monday. That was really surrounded by a quad witching, where you have equity options and futures along with index options and futures all expiring on the same day. So depending on where you were from an options standpoint, long or short, we saw a bunch of redemptions come in on Friday, and then the subsequent creations come in on Monday. So it kind of that heightened volume is to be expected, and I think in this particular case we saw it a little bit more, just given the activity and sort of concentration that we've seen on investors' minds around QQQ.
All right, Ryan, great to catch up with you as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.